What's going on, people? This is Jesse Veal with the Jesse Veal Show. And so today we're going to have a very interesting show. We're going to talk about Simps, Mitches, and Fake Alpha males. Man. So first of all, let me say, alpha males is a term that is used in the animal kingdom to kind of denote a certain type of male that's usually the most dominant male within his particular group. It's usually the male that is able. He's usually bigger physically. He's usually has the options in terms of mating with the women, etc., right? And so people kind of use that as a colloquialism, if you will, or like a layman's term, to kind of compare and contrast to men, right? And so it's not really a scientific term. So let's get that understood. The guy that actually kind of theorized the whole alpha and beta thing, he actually came back years later after his published works and said that, it really didn't exist in the human family, right? And so, but we use those terms as kind of like a layman's term just to kind of have an idea and to kind of conceptualize the behavior of men within the human family, right? So let's get that out the way first. So when we do talk about it in the human family, we're usually talking about it to mean, a man that's dominant, a man that gets all the ladies, that has a very masculine demeanor, takes care of business, he's able to protect himself and his family, etc. And so that's usually what we mean when we're talking about an alpha male within society. And so, one thing I want to touch on is the fake alpha male. So in a human family, you don't have to be, the biggest guy, the 300-pound guy, 300 pounds of muscle, a 250 pounds. That's not really an alpha, because in this society, an alpha, a big guy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a dominant demeanor. Usually it does, but I've seen, big guys that are kind of like, that's where the term gentle giant comes from. A big guy that's kind of sweet, laid, not even going to say laid back, he's kind of timid. Most women would classify him as sweet and etc. You got a lot of guys like that. So that doesn't necessarily equate, size doesn't necessarily equate to being dominant, if you will, or even being a leader. Right now, leadership is another one of those characteristics that are associated with alpha males in the terms of humans and what have you, human men and what have you, or men. And so that's kind of as far as talking about the physical characteristics. Now, a lot of times the alpha male in men is more along the lines are considered of leadership qualities, intelligence, whether you're 6'11" or 6'9" or whatever, or if you're 5 feet. Now, if you look at a cat like Jay Prince, the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, that cat's like 5'6", 5'5", something like that. You know what I mean? And he's well respected. He's recognized as a leader. He was probably one of the first guys, before Master P and Birdman and all these different record labels, these independent record labels. He was like one of the first to have an independent record label in the South, right? And so he's well respected in Houston. As far as the business world, and he's well respected in the streets. Even though he's a small guy, he has great leadership qualities and he commands respect. Okay. And so, being an alpha male, again, you're talking about confidence, being mentally tough, competitive, having a presence about yourself, having strong body language, being dominant, being able to take chances, strong eye contact. Not necessarily somebody that's an aggressor, but you aren't afraid to get physical. You're calm under pressure. You're non-reactive. You're more of a proactive guy. Not afraid to stand out, and you have the ability to persevere. Now, confidence is probably one of those big things associated with alpha males, and of course, not everyone is confident 24/7, 365. But in most cases, you're confident as an alpha male at the end of the day. And so those are the qualities that make up an alpha male in terms of, men in society. Now on the other end, a guy that's a fake alpha male is those guys that are kind of always boasting. Like 9 times out of 10, if you see a guy boasting like, yo, I'm an alpha male, and that's all he talks about, he's probably not an alpha male at the end of the day. A lot of these fake alpha male cats are very emotional, very loud. You know what I mean? They're overly aggressive, if you will. And and that kind of goes hand in hand with simping and being a Mitch. A lot of fake alpha males are simps, and a lot of fake alpha males are Mitches at the end of the day. And so what I want to do is I want to play a clip of the perfect example of a fake alpha male. Now, you probably seen this clip on YouTube or something like that, but pretty much a guy, I'm thinking he just got out of prison, and he caught his girlfriend cheating on him with another man. And so listen to how this guy deals with the situation. Listen to how the fake alpha male deals with the situation.
Okay, get your motherfucking self up. You jumped out into the door. I ain't worried about that kick. I worried about that. Look at me, homie. I cut my hair not too long ago. My name Legend. They call me New York. I know who the fuck you are, nigga. I know who the fuck you are, nigga. That don't mean shit to me. This is my motherfucking woman. This is my house. You see this picture still here? It's my mama and my aunt, nigga. Everything in here, me, nigga. Rick Legend. Master Chief, motherfucker, 6-star, concrete, motherfucking general. Everything in here with me, nigga. People think to die for that pussy. I am. So get the fuck up out of here. Fuck you. Fuck your child, nigga. I'll bury you in that motherfucker. Now what you gonna do? I'm with it, nigga. I'm a goon. I'm giving you a pass. Get the fuck up on my motherfucking house. You know, a woman going through some shit. We going through some shit. So weird ass, you gonna get the fuck up on my house. This is an alpha male right here, nigga. This is an alpha male. Learn me. I'm from the streets of Harlem, New York City. I'm gonna kill for the tomorrow. Get your shit. Get the fuck up out of here. Because when I come back.
Oh shit, man. That's some hilarious shit, man. That is some hilarious shit. That shit is just sad, man. So this is the fake alpha male cat, man. Like, as you can see, very emotional, overly aggressive. Like, his woman is cheating on him with another dude, and he coming at the dude sideways like he did something wrong. You dig? Like, this shit is unbelievable. It's crazy. So as you can see, the fake alpha male, he called himself an alpha male, but this dude really took off his shirt, and he telling this dude he need to get up out of here, talk about he gonna kill him and his kid. You know what I'm saying? Cause yo goddamn woman is out here double dick clutching and cheating on you while you in prison with another dude or what have you. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Okay, people. So that was some funny shit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The next thing we want to talk about is a Mitch, right? So Mitch pretty much is a female. It's a male version of a bitch. Just put the M on instead of the B. Women are, when we call women bitches in the, I guess, the fair sense. A lot of people use the term bitch just whatever. But originally, when people were calling women a bitch, they meant like when a woman was mad and very whiny and emotional and mean, like pretty much, behaviors that will be associated when a woman is going through her a certain phase in her cycle, where she's getting all these chemicals and stuff like that in her system that's causing her to kind of go off the rails and get extra emotional and mean. That was back in the day. That's what a lot of men would, call a bitch when a woman acts that way. And so, a lot of cats out here, a lot of men out here, act the same way in certain instances. And so that's where the term, Mitch came into play, to flip it on the men that act like that in this day and age. Now, the next thing is a simp, right? And so a simp is pretty much a man who enables women's bad behavior and goes along with whatever the woman wants in an effort to appease the woman to either get sex, companionship, or some type of brownie points or good graces with the women. And so let me use an example. Let's say that a woman posts a status on Facebook and says, all men are dogs. And you have a man come behind and comments, oh yeah, baby, you right. All men are dogs. Men ain't shit. Da 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 da. That's a simp, right? Because 9 times out of 10, the man that's commenting that, he doesn't believe that shit that she's saying himself. He's just pretending to believe it in order to get brownie points, in order to gain favor with either the woman who particularly made the statement, or that woman and the women that may come behind or come later and view or hear what the guy's saying. And you have that a lot these days in terms of, you got a lot of male feminists out there that, have been exposed over the past 5 or 6 years on social media. Like if you go on Twitter, you can look at the hashtag blocked out Yao, which is blocked out YAO. And that's pretty much a situation where there's this black guy from Florida who used to be a real popular male feminist on social media, and he got exposed like maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. He got exposed for being a damn pedophile. Like he was basically coming at underage girls out there in Florida from social media, like asking them to send him naked pics and stuff like that, trying to hook up with chicks 16 and younger, basically, with under 18 period. But even as far as that, so that's a whole big thing of having men that are pretending to be feminists in order to basically get sex with these other feminists out here and what have you. And there's situations where they don't even believe the shit that they saying. They just playing a script. Like they just using the game plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna read bell hooks or whoever these other popular feminist theorists are, parroting and repeating what they're saying, and then they're just kind of using that to get in the graces of these women, right? And so, I'm even gonna say that, a lot of simp behavior, you see a lot of cats that are out here, wifing up or getting in a committed relationship or even marrying women that have, 3, 4 plus kids by multiple baby daddies, and they don't even have any damn kids. Trying to make up for the mistakes of other cats, But when you look in the animal kingdom, like when you look at a lion, first of all, when you look at a lion, understand that nature is ruthless than a motherfucker. Like people talk about nature and Mother Nature and this shit. Nature is a motherfucker. Like nature don't give a goddamn. like nature is ruthless. Like it's ruthless in nature. But when you look at lions, right? When a male lion takes over a pride, right? So, well, let me say this, right? Because I like to study animals and stuff like that. When a lion gets of a certain age, the dominant male lion, his father, kicks the male lions out, whilst the female lions get to stay with the pride. And so the male lion will either, the young male lions will either go out on its own, or it will form a coalition with its brothers, right? So you may have, 2, 3, 4, sometimes even as many as, I think, like 6 or 7 brother lions that will go out on their own and learn to hunt and use the hunting lessons they got from the older members of the pride when they were younger, and they have to hunt on their own at this point. And so what they do is, with the coalition, is they go to other prides and they take those prides over, just straight gangster style, you dig? What they do is however many brothers, it's a coalition, they'll go to one pride and they'll kill the older male lions and take over their pride. And once they kill the older male lions, the next step in which they implement, right, is they kill the progeny, the offspring, the cubs of that male lion. They kill those cubs and they eat those damn cubs. And so the lionesses that have missing cubs, they go through like a mourning period or what have you. And after that mourning period, they'll allow the male lions that took over their pride to then procreate with them, right? And so after all of those damn cubs are killed, they'll usually be able to mate and then plant their own seeds with the lionesses. There is no, I'm gonna take care of the next lion's progeny in the animal kingdom. And I've even seen shit where the lionesses were so depressed where they refused to have sex with the male lions, and then they'll kill the lioness. In that case, they'll kill the lioness and eat her ass, right? And we talk about alpha male lions, right? And so yeah, that's how it goes down in the animal kingdom. That's how ruthless it is in the animal kingdom. And so, let me quickly break down a situation that I had in with a fake alpha male, Mitch Simp ass nigga on Facebook, right? So it's an older cat that I got into a little back and forth with, which I don't really go back and forth as far as hurling insults and stuff too much. Like at a certain point, I'm just done, because that's just my personality. Like we can talk all, like if we having fun and joking or whatever, that's cool. But if you want to get disrespectful, we can take it to the streets. That's just my personality. At the end of the day, we can fist fight, we can get into the boxing ring and put some boxing gloves on and get it in. Like that's just how I'm brought up, you dig? When cats get disrespectful. And so anyway, there was this sister who had a post speaking on black men aren't held accountable, and I pretty much disagreed with that, and I broke down how black men are held accountable. And so the brother commented saying that he agreed with the sister. And so I said, okay, well, let's contextualize that statement. Like you claim that black men aren't held accountable, but we're held accountable each and every day by the system. If not by our own people, the justice system is going to hold us accountable. You understand what I'm saying? Like the court systems, if anything, are going to make sure black men are held accountable, right? And so you try to switch the statement to say that, you know, our people, black people, aren't holding black men accountable, right? And so I made the case, like, okay, if you can say that, what is your proof? What is your evidence to support your claims? And so the example he used, he was like, you know good and well that black men aren't taking care of their kids. And so my response was, okay, your claim is that black men don't take care of their children, right? Well, the Center for Disease Control came out with a study in, I think, 2013, 2015, showing that black men are better fathers than any other group of men in the United States, and that black men spend more time with their children than any other men in the United States. And not only that, but black men, I think it was like 70 to 73% of black men who aren't with their children's mother still spend more time, and more percentage of black men who aren't with their children's mother spend more time with their children than any other group of men in the country, right? And so I hit this brother with facts, data, empirical data. And this brother responded back, you know, very emotional, very disrespectful. He told me that I could, you know, stick that study up my ass, yada, yada, yada. He started talking about how I was angry at my mother, how I was raised by a single mother, how I'm an angry black man. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, dude, you're way too feminine and illogical and such an imbecile that to continue having dialogue with you, to continue conversing with you would be a complete, utter waste of time. You understand what I'm saying? He started talking about how I'm a beta male, and how a beta male gets scared when the alpha male comes in. You understand? And I'm like, yo, you can say whatever the hell you want, dude. You're an emotional nitwit at the end of the day. You have the intelligence of a pre-adolescence at the end of the day. It will be a waste of time to continue. I was like, if you're an alpha male, like, I will beat the piss out of you. Like, we can meet in the streets and I will beat your ass right there in the streets. We could go to the boxing ring. What you want to do? Since you feel like you're an alpha male and you got me running and shit like that, we could get it in, right? And so, you know, of course, he didn't want to go that route. At the end of the day, he bitched up like, you know, a beta male would, right? And so, you know, you got to be careful how you talk to people on this social media. A lot of people think that, you know, you can say anything you want, disrespect people, call them all type of names, and, you know, it's the internet. They can't find you, right? And I know that was this guy's mindset, because when you go on his profile picture, or you go on his profile on Facebook, the city that he lives in and what city he's from, all of that stuff you can't see it. You only can see his profile picture. He has his pictures blocked off. And, you know, even when you look at the cat's profile picture, you know that he's an emotional little Mitch. Because his profile picture is a picture of him with his eyes all watery and shit, looking like he about to start crying. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, you know, back in the day, one of my mentors, man, we was on this message board with Tariq Nasheed called United Players of America, and there was this cat from Chicago that used to talk a lot of shit and just get disrespectful with cats. And you know, one of my mentors actually looked up his information. He got one of his chicks that he was dealing with that was good with IT and knew how to hack computers and shit like that, and he actually pulled up this cat's personal information, got his address, and showed up at this nigga's door one day. Like, okay, you talking all that shit online, what's good? What you want to do, homie? You know what I'm saying? Pull this card. And he, you know, he bitched up. He didn't want no issues. Ended up apologizing to the big homie, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? As expected. And I'm not no tough guy. I don't want y'all to think that I'm trying to come off like I'm this big tough guy and anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to bully somebody. But if you come at me with disrespect, or you come at anyone with disrespect, you know, you have to be prepared for whatever consequences that occur because of that, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction at the end of the day. And you know, like I'm the type of person, like I don't tolerate disrespect, not even from my mother, put it like that. Like a lot of people tolerate more stuff from people in their family and their mom and stuff like that. Like I don't even tolerate that stuff from my goddamn mom at the end of the day. Which I have a lot of respect for my elders and my parents, but you know, just because you created me doesn't mean I have to tolerate no disrespect at the end of the day. And that's always been the way that I've looked at it. You know what I mean? Even as a kid, you know, I never started no stuff with anybody, but I wasn't afraid to finish it. Like you wasn't gonna ever bully me into doing anything I didn't want to do as a kid. You understand? And that's the same attitude I have in adulthood at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. These Simps, Mitches, and Fake Alpha males. Just pathetic, man. These cats are a disgrace. You know, they really make my stomach turn a lot of times when I see the behaviors that they display. It's just a disgrace to manhood at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And so that's our show today. Thank y'all for listening to the Veal show. I want y'all to have a great weekend. And y'all gonna catch us next Monday. Alright, peace, family.